What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with CZar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about 4 different grayscale trusts today: BCHG, LTCN, ETHE, and GDLC for Goofy Titan, Quiet Dawn, Chad Shee, and Eric Solorio. Let's get this started. Man, I had to restart this video. I literally made a rant for about 20 minutes, and I had to restart it. And I'm going to try my best not to rant right now, but I'm going to be dad for a minute, and then we're going to get into the TA, okay? I'm going to be dad by saying, and I'm going to try not to rag on anybody. I'm not ragging on you, but I am a little bit disappointed in how some people have been handling their positions with BCHG and LTCN. I've had more than a few comments from people that have been telling me that they sold in the last couple days, okay? Not once, not that this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, okay? You're big boys, you're big girls, you make your own decisions. You do what you want. If my opinion influences that or helps you gauge your own opinion, like, cool, whatever. But you're still the one making your own decisions. I would hope that you look into it yourself and you do what feels right to you. But not once over the past 2 days have I recommended that anybody sell. And I've gotten a lot of comments telling me that you have sold. There's more than a few of you that have sold. Not even though I've said, yes, I think the price is going to go lower. That does not equal I think it's a good time to sell. In fact, the only time that I said that I think it's a good time to sell was when right before we had this breakout. I said, I believe if you even watch the video from whenever we were up here, like the last video that I made before we had this drop, I believe I even said it exactly like this. I don't normally recommend selling. I don't normally talk about it, but this probably is a good area if you wanted to sell. If you bought the top and you sell here, you probably will get a chance to buy lower. I haven't said anything like that down here. I've said we probably do go lower. Yeah, I'm thinking that we do, but that doesn't equal sell. I know I've said that at this point, if you didn't sell, that I wouldn't sell now. I would just buy more as it goes lower. And the reason for that is exactly what happened today. For the people that sold the last couple days, I'm very nervous for you. I'm very this is why I went on a rant, man, because if you don't have the emotional wherewithal to hold through this, I'm very nervous for you, and assuming that some of you might have FOMO'd in and bought at the top. So not only did you sell for a loss, or like you sold low, like relatively low, from like the recent price action, but you also bought high. You sold low and then you bought high, and now you're really in a shitty situation. And I hope nobody's in that. I hope if anything, you sat on your hands and you just you watched it go up and then you watched it go down, and you're like, whew, I got lucky on that one. But not once have I recommended that you sell since we've broken down, and not once would I. If anything, you buy more on the way down. That's it. If you miss your chance to sell up here, you suck it up, you own it, and you wait. You just wait patiently, because why would you play the game with something that right now is at $3.82, even if it was at $5? Why would you play the game with something like that has price targets from high here to low here, the extension, the minimum extension is all the way at $250, the 1618 is at $1,500, and I think that is even possible. I'm not saying that I would put money on that happening, but I would give it a pretty decent chance of happening, man, like a 20% chance of happening. No, that's not likely, but that's still a pretty decent chance, man. If you told me I had a 20% chance of making $1 million on something, I'd be like, well, sign me up. What do I got to do? That's pretty decent chances right there, man. And that's insane gains. From $3.82 to up there, you're going to play the game with something like that? Like, at no point, and it upsets me a little bit, because I know that the people that sold down here are going to say, well, you said it was going to go down, so I sold based on, it's like, no. I said it was going to go down, but at no point was I saying sell. You need, and this is where it, unfortunately, it falls on you as the investor, as the speculator, as someone who is probably new to the markets, to understand what the terminology means. Just because I'm saying something's going down does not mean that I think it's a good time to sell. In fact, I very rarely, I think the only time at all, like recently, that I've talked about selling and telling, like not advising, but being like, this is a decent area to sell, was before this drop for BCHG and for LTCN and ETHE. I remember I made a video saying that. I was like, this might be a last chance to sell if you wanted to sell. But I'm pretty sure even then I was like, not that I would recommend selling. You do what you want to do. But I did say if you wanted to sell, this would be your last chance. And if it went down, you'd have to accept it. And at that point, just wait, because it'll come back up. It'll be fine. I know I said all that, man. I know I did. And Oh, and you can see why I went on a rant for a long time. I'm going to get into the TA. I just want to say, if anybody sold down here and you bought up here, you're in a very bad situation right now. And I don't know what to tell you, man. I would say this. For anybody that's bought, that's holding BCHG or LTCN right now, don't play the game. You have very big gains ahead of you. I don't care if you bought low and you sold high and then you bought back, if you bought high and then you sold low and then you bought back high again, whatever your dilemma is, just sit on it, because it's all going to come back. You might not get the same gains that you would have had if you were just patient, but the price will go back. It'll go up. It'll probably go to $250, if not more. There's a decent chance of it going even above $1,000. So why play the game? Make your purchases. None of what I'm saying is financial advice, but if any of it could be, it would be this part right here. Whatever, if you're holding LTCN or BCHG, sit on it for a year. Don't play the game. Don't mess around with it, especially if you're new. If you have less than 5 years of experience in markets, don't mess with it. Just sit on it. You will make a lot more money that way, and you won't be having any headache, because I promise you, man, oh man, I don't even know. But out of the people that have told me they sold the last 2 days, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are feeling heartache right now, that are feeling that gut-wrenching feeling. And I don't know what to tell you, man. I've been there before. It sucks. You will make it back. It sucks. It's really hard sometimes, man. But my best advice, if I had any advice, would be sit on your hands. Make your purchases and sit on your hands. With that being said, let's get into the TA. Because I hope I made sense. I hope I wasn't coming across as a dick, but this is serious, man. This is you're messing with things that you just shouldn't mess with. Like, absolutely you shouldn't mess with. You've got a golden ticket here. Why are you selling it? Okay? You missed your chance to sell it. Suck it up and own it. Sit on your hands. Let it go lower even. Buy more. And then watch it come back up, and then you're fine. You'll forget about this dump in 3 months, guys. It seems so big right now. It's such a big deal right now, but that's how markets are. Most markets are made to take most of the money from most people most of the time, especially people who are new. That's how it happens, okay? Let's get into the TA. BCH is pumping right now. The one thing that has me nervous for anybody that's sold and played this game like rambunctiously here is that BCH is pumping. BCHG and BCH can run independent of each other. They absolutely can, but man, it puts you in a bad situation. I'm very curious to see how BCHG is going to open up the day tomorrow, because yes, I have been calling for lower prices. I have. And yes, we've had a little bit of a drop so far, and the prices that I'm calling for are below $2. That's where I'm expecting it to go. I can be wrong. I can very well be wrong. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again. Okay? And sometimes things change. If we look at this on a daily basis, we take this away here, and we get this going. Let's see. Something like that. I don't know, maybe. No, like this. Sorry. I mean, I would think that we go lower. I would. But again, anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. Even though BCH is pumping, I would still think that this is going to go lower. And where do I think it's going to go? Those price targets haven't changed, man. I haven't seen enough to convince me that we're going to pump yet. We've had a couple days of crazy price action, sure, but it's not enough to scare me out of my boots, right? You have to be very calm. You can feel the FOMO, but don't act on it, right? And this, for anybody that acted on it, I hope this is a lesson. At least you're learning it early in the markets, and maybe you'll stand to gain from it. Maybe next time you'll be like, man, that wasn't fun at all. I'm not going to do it again. Why do I think it's going down here? Well, you're finding resistance in a previous area of support, okay? Confirming support as resistance in this area would make sense to me. If we take this high to this low, you're on a closing basis here. You're at your 1618 extension. Find resistance in your 1618 extension. It would make sense to go at least to your 886, which is below 250. Your 618 is all the way down here below $2, and your green line's there too. On your overall fib, your 382 is at like $1.74. I very much believe that it is possible still to at least go below 250, with like the ultimate like low target that I'm looking for being below $1.70 or no $1.80, but it doesn't have to hit there. I very much am confident still that the price will go below 250. But just because I'm confident in that doesn't mean it has to. You would close this gap, which would be nice. That'd be encouraging. You'd be finding support on a previous area of resistance, previous areas of resistance, which would make sense. And then you'd continue to build higher, which is nice. And again, the reason why it's not a good time to sell is, yes, it might seem scary and infuriating, and you might get that feeling in your stomach. But if you just look away for like a month or two, it'll be back with a vengeance, man. You'll forget all about this dump that's happening. You'll forget all about it if you just close your eyes and wait. You'll even feel better about it if, as we move down, you buy more. Okay, and that's all I got for you on BCHG. It looks, as far as the RSI goes, it looks like it wants to go lower. Hold on now. Bouncing off the 40 is not encouraging. You did that last time, and look at what happened, right? You continued to move up. Different kind of circumstances, I suppose. You could bounce off the 40. We've been seeing a lot of that lately. Generally, with strong moves, you do that. Better hope, and I hope that the price does go lower for anybody that's looking to buy lower. I really do. But with how BCH is moving, don't be surprised if this thing moves up. And the thing is, as crazy as it can be, this thing could move up and then it dumps, right? It could break out to new highs, new yearly highs, make you FOMO in at the top, and then it gets that dump that you were waiting for. Like, this is why you don't play the game, because it's very confusing sometimes, man, especially if you're in it for the long haul. If you're in it for the long haul, don't forget that you're in it for the long haul. But that's all I got to say for BCHG, man. I'm sorry I was being dad for so long, and I'm sorry it wasn't so much TA, but, man, I was genuinely, I am shocked at how many people sold. And it's up to you. I'm not dogging on anybody. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not using your names or anything. But I would bet a lot of my Bitcoin cashes that you did not sell on the premise of sound mind. You probably sold on the premise of emotion. You heard me say that the price could go below $2, and you're like, damn, I'm going to be clever. You probably don't feel so clever now, and I hope it works out. I hope the price does go lower and you end up actually feeling clever and actually working out. I want everybody to make money. I don't think anybody deserves to lose money, but you are asking for it, man, if you try playing the game with something that we all know is going to go way, way higher than it is now. Don't play the game. Set your buys. Let them be. If the price goes lower, buy more. If you only have $1,000 to your name and you bought $1,000 worth of it and then it drops 50%, and now you have to put a little bit, you only get to put $50 in from your next paycheck because the rest of it has to go to bills or whatever, cool. You got an extra $50 at a 50% discount. That's great, man. Like, suck it up. That's just how it works sometimes, you know? And it's okay. It's okay to be in the red. Some of the best positions I've ever had started off in the red, and then they killed it. Some of the worst positions I ever had started off in the green, and they shit the bed. So don't get caught up in the short term, right? Or I mean, maybe if it's the worst position, you do want to get caught up in the short term. But as far as like good positions go, you don't want to get caught up in the short term. Is what I'm trying to say. All right, LTCN. Let's move on from there. I'm sorry, and I'm not sorry for being dad. That's the term I'm going to use. Bottom to top here, didn't reach your 382, pretty solid volume. You are below your 236 right now. On a daily basis, you did close below your 236 for the last 3 days now. Yes, you had a little bit of a pullback, but what did you do? You tested a previous area of support as resistance. I bet you go lower. I do bet you go lower. Again, where are you probably going to go? At least below $8 is my thoughts. Probably, potentially below $5 even. If you don't go below $5, again, at least below $8 is what I'm thinking, but if you don't go below $5, maybe you go to about $6.50, which is at this 886 here. You touched your 1272, pulling back to your 886 is a very common maneuver, like specifically right at it. I know there's a lot of lines here. I'll get rid of them. Pulling right back to your 886 is common. It's also right by your 123 moving average here on the weekly. You could very well find support there. That would also come in line with like a higher low kind of scenario like that, right? Or like this. I don't know, man. I can't draw straight lines, but you see what I'm going for, I hope. And then with that other fib on there, The 618, 69 is below $5, and that's absolutely possible too. And down there would still also be a higher low. So it is possible for this thing to go below $5. If I was buying it personally, I would personally look to buy at like below $7, but above $6.50. That's where I'd personally look to buy. Even with the absolute belief that it could go all the way down here, I would happily buy it here whenever I saw it all the way up here, happily buy it here, watch it go down here, maybe buy more. I bought my $1,000 worth here. I made my paycheck. I can only afford to put 50 bucks in it because life sucks sometimes, man, and we got to pay bills. Things come up, it's unexpected. You can't even, maybe you can only put 10 bucks in it, but guess what? It's a little bit of extra something. That 10 bucks, if it 100x's, you turn 10 bucks into $1,000, that could be an extra $1,000. You know what I mean? If you just sit on your hands and you play your cards right. There's no too small amount of money, even $1, right? And like if you could turn $1 into $100, wouldn't you want to do it? You know, not saying that at 100x's from there, but it could, right? 100x from 450 is, or $4.50 would be $450, and I think this thing could go to $2,000. Like, you can do some serious damage with this thing, man, like in a good way. And I say could go to $2,000 as in it could go. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it only goes to 1,000, right? Maybe it only goes to 500. I know I have very bullish price predictions that are even higher than that, but maybe it only goes to 500. 446 to 500, 1095 where it's at now to 500. That's still insane gains, guys. You're not going to be upset with that, I promise you. But what I'm trying to say is, if I was buying this thing, I would probably buy around here because there's a lot more support. There's this previous area of resistance here. You're like in the middle of this price range. You've got the 886, the 0.5, the 123 moving average all coming into line there. I would buy between $6.50 and $7. If I saw the price and it was below $7, I would buy it. If I woke up and I saw that the price wicked down and now it's back up at $8.50, I would buy it. I'd be like, damn, I missed my chance, but I would buy it. I wouldn't play around. But that's just me. Everybody has their own style. Everybody has their own decisions. It's your finances, not mine. You make your own decisions, you know, and you're the one that will reap the benefits or sow the consequences if you do it improperly, right? I'm not the one in charge of your money. So please, anybody who's mistaking what I'm saying by it going down as it's a good time to sell, that's not my fault, man. That's not on me. And that's not me trying to weasel my way out of this. At no point in the last few days have I said it's a good time to sell. I know that the only time like at all in like the last, I don't know how many months that I've recommended anybody sell anything, and it wasn't even a recommendation. I said it's probably a decent time to sell if you wanted to get out before the dump, was up here. We're already past that. You got to let it go. It's like if you could buy something down here and then it goes up here, I wouldn't recommend that you buy up here. You got to let it go, man. You got to let it go. You got to let it come back to you. Anyways, that's LTCN. I keep doing this stuff, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry and I'm not sorry because I feel like I need to do it. I don't want anybody losing money, man. I don't want anybody feeling that gut-wrenching feeling that I know some of you probably are. Like, I don't want that for anybody. I know how that feels, man, and it sucks. It really sucks, especially when you're messing with money that means something, that's your livelihood, that's supposed to help you retire, help you live the lifestyle you want. I want you guys to get that. I want me to get that. I want everybody to get that. Let's all get rich together, but you're not going to do that if you're playing the game with this stuff. I don't play the game. I've been doing this for 7 years, man. I don't play the game. When I played the game was in the first like 4 to 5 years. That's when I played the game. I stopped playing the game and then I finally started making money. It's that simple. Maybe that's just my journey. Everybody's different. There are some people who can play the game and do it well. But if you don't play the game, it's a lot harder for the game to take your money, if that makes any sense. Bottom to top here on ETHE. You know, this was the only one out of the three so far that has moved up. I've been calling for it to go down, and out of the other two, compared to the other two, this one actually pumped. We're up 13% this week, and I very much would have expected a dump. And I do still expect it to go down a little bit, right? You are overbought right now. In fact, you're the most overbought for the longest amount of time that you've ever been. You do have high, lower high, lower high. That is double bearish divergence, high, higher, high, higher, high. You probably will see a retracement at some point, but you might continue to go up from here. You're at $21.88. Maybe you go all the way up to $28. Personally speaking, if I was holding this thing, seeing what it is right now, on the weekly basis, I wouldn't have a problem selling here. Again, I'm not recommending that you sell, but if you wanted to, hey, you're at the highs. It's not a bad time to sell. Just like or take profits, right? On LTCN and BCHG, when they were at their highs, it was a good time to take profits. But if it keeps going up, definitely don't buy higher, because what could happen is then if we move, let's just say it moved all the way up here where this previous area of resistance was, then it could pull back to this 236 at about $19 and it would be lower than it is now. It could pull all the way back to this 382 and it would be substantially lower than it is now. So even if you sold here and it went higher, if you're just patient, it will likely come back to you at even more prime opportunities to buy, okay? And again, I'm not recommending anybody sell. I'm addressing, very logically speaking, you're the most overbought you've been for the longest amount of time. You have double bearish divergence on your weekly. Yes, you have nice volume coming in on a daily basis even too. You're not in your overbought zone yet, but this is a very strong daily looking RSI. I would assume that you go higher, but you do have, that in itself is even bearish divergence. I don't know. If I was holding this thing, I would probably sell here, but that's not financial advice. Okay, that's you do whatever you want, and if it goes up from here, you just wait. You just wait and you be patient. If it goes down from here, okay, cool, you're in a good spot. If you don't sell from here and it goes down from here, you wait. You just wait. You buy more, but it'll probably, if that is the top, assuming that is the high, the relative high, you'll probably move down to about $16, just below $16, and probably all the way down to about $12.51. Top to bottom here, hit that 2618 on the dot, bro. 1618 is all the way down here at 14. The 1272 is lining up with that 382. I think that you would at least that 1260 1250 area is looking very prime, very, very prime. You have a solid possibility to go to around $10 to $11 still. But again, absolutely, you could go higher from here too. I'd be looking for that, what was it, 1260 to 1250 area personally. If I was looking to buy this thing, that's where I would do it. 382 is at 1124, and that comes in line with the 100 level here. I know I've got a lot of lines on here, but just bear with me. 0.5 is at the 1618. If I was looking to buy, I would probably buy below $15, above $12.50, and probably closer to that $12.50 area personally, but that's just me. So that's ETHE. I do think it goes down. I do think we have we have double bearish divergence here. You're the most overbought you've been. You even have a flat base with descending highs, right? That's like a descending triangle. It's just a matter of time before you do see a correction, but that doesn't mean that you can't go higher before then. So if you sold here, great, but if it goes up higher, just wait. Don't FOMO back in. If you don't sell here and it goes down, that's okay. Just buy more. Not financial advice, but you probably won't do too bad with that. But that's not financial advice. You're all big boys, you're all big girls, you make your own decisions. GDLC. And I already know there might be some people who are like, you keep saying it's not financial advice, but you're talking about it like it's financial advice. No, man. I'm giving my opinions. You want me to tell you what I think about it? Like, I'm going to tell you what I think about it, but that doesn't mean that it's financial advice. I'm some guy sitting in my house. I got a Christmas tree up in January. Like, yeah, I've been doing this for 7 years, but I'm not an expert, man. I'm learning every day just like everybody else is. And yes, I've been successful. I've made some decent money doing this stuff, but I haven't done it by acting on my opinions. Why should you be acting on my opinions? You know what I mean? I buy at places that I think are good areas to buy, and I wait for the cycle. It's foolproof. It's foolproof. If some kind of world economic calamity happens, you're not dumb. Everybody's screwed at that point, man. So it's just inevitable at that point. It's like if the world exploded, like there's nothing you could do to avoid that. It's just your fate, But GDLC, we're in these markets to make money, to invest and make money. If some crazy calamity happens and everybody loses money, you are at least the type of person who is taking the risk to try and make money, and that's the game you play sometimes. Sometimes things don't go according to plan. Look at the Great Depression. Look at the 2008 housing crisis. It happens. But if you just held through it, you didn't panic sell, it might take some time, but it comes back. It does come back. You might have to figure things out for a little bit, but it does come back. Patience is a virtue, and it pays off. It literally pays off. I say that doesn't mean don't sell at points. Whenever the cycle's at its end, definitely take profits. Anybody can make profits, but pros take profits. Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund. Yeah, I think you want to go down to probably 1316 to 1035. I really like that 1035 area. 382 previous areas of resistance there. Yeah, I really do. Inverse head and shoulders pattern, back tested for support and then move higher. I like it. This one's easy. I really do like it. Yeah. Probably goes lower. Look at that RSI. It's looking weak. Yeah, you're probably going lower. Again, where are you going to go? 1035. At least below $13.20, but I think you're going to 1035. And then from there, probably higher. Man, look at that weekly RSI. That's beautiful. Look at that, man. I love. I can't draw it right, but I love parallel channels like that in the RSI. I've said it before, I don't like horizontal lines when it comes to price, but whenever it comes to the RSI, I love it. This is beautiful. You can absolutely come back down. You might find your low on the weekly, or like on the price when you see your weekly down here. So just keep that in mind. If you like kind of, it doesn't have to be like pinpoint accurate. It doesn't have to be like that. I would say like it can go below this line here and still be fine. As long as you're having higher lows, you might bounce right off that 60, man. You might go a little bit below, but as long as you're having higher lows, I think this looks really good. Yeah. But for now, probably around 1035 to 12, what was it, 1250? No, 1320, my bad. I think closer to that 1035 though. Let me see real quick. Yeah, I think you're going below $12. Yep. 1039, that 0.5 right there, man. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. I hope nobody took this video as like me trying to just be a dick. I'm really trying to just be helpful, if anything, without like telling you what to do, because I can't tell you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not your dad. I can't just hold your hand through this all. But I hope my more serious, stern, less playful tone of voice speaks to some people so that you don't make the mistakes. If you have, you don't do it again. Maybe you'll learn something from this experience. And if you didn't even get screwed up, maybe you can learn something from this experience still, because that's why we're all here, is to learn. And if you did screw it up, if you have lost your money, there's a couple of things you can take away from it. One, it's your fault. It's not my fault, it's your fault. Own it, okay? Just like whenever the ETF got denied, I own that. I didn't blame it on anything like that. I got it wrong. You got it wrong. Own it. Takeaway number 2, learn from it. Do better. It's okay, man. It's okay to lose money. Man, I lost so much money when I started. I lost everything, man. I've hit zero 3 or 4 times. I think at least 3 times in my life. I remember I was working at my crappy job, working for minimum wage at the grocery store, and I'm talking to my buddy's dad who's coming in. I'm like in my early 20s, so I'm talking to my buddy's dad. He comes in and he sees that I'm down. I'm always so chipper, but I just lost all my money leverage trading, and crypto was going up. It was in a bull market, and I lost money. And he's like, "Why are you so down? What's wrong?" I'm like, "Honestly, man, I lost all my money trading. I lost all of it. I lost everything." He's like, "You hit zero? Like you actually lost everything?" I'm like, "Yeah." This guy has like multiple millions of dollars, like tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Like very wealthy individual, very successful man. And he looks me right in the eyes and he says, "Yeah, I've hit zero like 4 times in my life." He's like, "You might have to do it again, but I think you'll be okay. I think you guys will be okay. Okay, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to get you down in your hopes. I'm really trying to just make a point. And really at the end of it all, I want to say you're gonna be okay, as long as you learn from it. Okay, and it might take 1 or 2 or 3 more times to learn from it. And that's the sad truth of it. But if you can learn from it now, the sooner you will start to really make money. and I hope you learn from it. I hope nobody got caught up in the volatility. I hope everybody's faring well. I hope you're making the best financial decisions for yourself, because at the end of the day, whenever you turn your money into a ton of money off of your investments, you're going to thank yourself. Your friends are going to be like, man, you were smart, right? They're not going to give me credit. So if you lose money, don't be blaming me. It's not me, it's you. You're the one in control of your financial destiny, okay? Own it. Own it. Learn from it. You'll be better for it, and I want you all to be better for it. I want everybody to kill it in this market. We have the tools. We have the potential. It is the right time in life, man, to be making a ton of money. This is it. And if you lost out a little bit, it's okay. It's okay to be discouraged, but don't let it prevent you from getting back in and giving it hell and making a comeback, because you absolutely can. But you just got to be smart about it. You got to learn. Really. Thank you. Have a good day. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Bye-bye.